And one thing that you're supposed to understand is that in ICT questions, you are supposed to use the terms. If you take out the terms or the terminologies that you're supposed to use in a definition, you take it out, I bet you will not get the grade 1 that you are expecting. Welcome back to Justice Computing class. My name is Justice Joseph Kofikabe, your ICT educator for today's lesson. Today's lesson, I'm going to give you some tips of how you pass your ICT BEC question very easily. It is very important for you to understand that ICT questions are very trickish, but you can pass very easily. In today's lesson, I'll be taking you through the practicals. ICT questions involve practicals and theory, which is the practical aspect, and we have the general knowledge in ICT. So I want you to stay tuned and make sure you get your jotters, your notes, so that when I explain something, you'll be able to jot it down for a best grade in ICT. I want you to do me a favor. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel if today is the first time of seeing me on your screen, and also press the notification bell so anytime I upload a new lesson, you'll be the first person to be notified. Thank you very much, and let me take you through some of the things that you are supposed to do as an ICT student and some of the things that you're not supposed to do as an ICT student. The first thing is that remember to write your index numbers on your question paper. Remember to write your index numbers on your question paper, your name on the question paper. And remember, the ICT paper, you can compare it to as social studies, the booklet given to you, whereby you ask for more paper or additional paper to complete your work. The space created for you, you are supposed to provide your answer in the space provided. In that case, you are supposed to think before you write. You not just approach the question as you think it is, but you are supposed to think before you write. So remember to make sure that before you write or put down your answers, think about it. For instance, you are asked to outline a step of how to create an email account. You are supposed to look at the space allocated for that answer, then you provide your answer. You put things together to summarize your answer so that it will fit into that space allocated for that question. The next one is that you have to make sure that anytime you are answering ICT questions, most of the time students don't pay attention to the practical question. They thought it is very difficult and all that, but it is very important for you to understand that the ICT questions must be well understood. It means that you are supposed to understand the practical aspect of the ICT questions. That's why I think that was last week when we were writing the district mock. Most of the students fail the practical aspect because they don't actually understand what the practical is all about. So in today's lesson, I'll take you to some of the likely exam practical questions that will be coming in your BECE, and I'll try to throw more light on it, and also take you through some of the questions that some of your colleagues asked me on YouTube on the comment section, so that I'll throw more light on it and explain to you so that you understand more and more for a better grade in ICT. So the first thing I want us to look at is that last year, I think the question that came, the practical aspect of the ICT, I think it's about word. It's about word. It means a typed word. So it is possible that this year there could be Excel as a practical, ICT tools as a practical, and also I think the part of the drawing toolbar and the use will also be there. I want you to understand, Excel is always there. There's no way that they will not set Excel question because it involves calculation. There's no way a question will come in ICT without Excel. So I strongly believe that Excel will come again. So you have to make sure you master in your practical aspect of Excel. So Excel is all about generating formulas. Excel is all about generating formulas. And also we are going to look at the drawing toolbar. So the drawing toolbar, we have the standard drawing toolbar, and I strongly believe that it will also come in your BEC. So I want you to take note of it, the questions that your colleagues asked on the comment section, some of the questions that were bothering their mind, and they asked. And they were asking what is the definition for uploading. And some were able to give the definition, but they are not still clear of why they should use the word remote control. Are you with me? Remote control and local computer. Now, I want you to understand clearly that it is possible that this question can come in the exam. So I can tell you that it will not come. It is possible that it will come in the exams, but I want you to understand the definition. And one thing that you're supposed to understand is that in ICT questions, you are supposed to use the terms. if you take out the terms or the terminologies that you're supposed to use in a definition, you take it out, I bet you will not get the grade 1 that you are expecting. For instance, the question asked, what is uploading? Now, uploading is the act of what? Transferring data from a local computer to a remote computer. The word local computer is your personal computer. The remote computer is the internet. So for instance, uploading picture on the internet from your phone to the internet. So your phone is the local computer and the remote computer is your internet. It's the internet where you're uploading the picture to. So downloading is just the vice versa of uploading. So if uploading is the act of transferring data from a local computer to a remote computer, then downloading will be the what? The act of transferring data from a remote computer to a local computer. Do you understand? Very simple. So if you are able to keep one definition for uploading, it is likely that when you should meet the two at the same time, you'll be able to explain them. So I repeat, uploading is the act of transferring data from a local computer to a remote computer, whilst downloading is the act of transferring data from a remote computer to a local computer. That's why you can download pictures from the internet to your phone. So your phone is the local computer and the internet is the remote computer. So you can go and write, it is the act of transferring data from the internet to your phone or to your laptop or to your computer. No, they will mark you wrong. Do you understand? Transferring data from, or for copying data from the internet to your computer or to your phone, they will mark you wrong. The terms are supposed to be there. Do you understand? The terms, you're supposed to use the terms in your definition. If not, it is likely and it is possible that you will not get a grade 1. So please kindly use your terms when you are explaining or when you are asked to define something. And the next question that was asked is, what is information processing cycle? Someone asks. Now, the information processing cycle is the act of what? Changing or what? Transferring or converting data into meaningful information. Now, we realize that data is a raw fact which is meaningless to the user. But information is a transfer or a processed data which is meaningful to the user. So the information processing cycle is a stages, or you can use it, there are stages involved in transferring data into information or into meaningful information. I will accept that. So there are stages of transferring data into what? Meaningful information. So we have the stages like input. The first is what? Input stage, processing stage, output stage, storage and distribution. We have 5 stages. I always tell my students that it is possible we have 4 stages. Assuming the exam or you are asked to write stages of how to transfer data or the stages of what? Information processing cycle, then you go for the 5. But if the question is specific that you should go for 4, I mean you should write 4 stages of the information processing cycle, it means that you should end on storage. If the question said you should write 3 stages of the information processing, it means that you should end on what? Output. So you have to make sure that you understand the question before you approach. Students always jump on questions. They feel like, no, they know it. So far they say stages of the information, they don't even look at whether they are asking them to write what? 3, 4 or 5. They just write all. It will go against you. ICT students are always disciplined. Are you okay? Good. The next question is spreadsheet. Someone is saying that spreadsheet is for bank transaction. No, you can't write that. You'll be marked wrong. Yes, it could be that we use the spreadsheet at the bank, but what is the spreadsheet? When they ask you what is spreadsheet itself, what is it? What is the spreadsheet? So the spreadsheet is what? It's an application used for what? Mathematical calculations. Are you okay? Or for arithmetic calculations. It's an application used for what? Mathematical calculations. So you can't say that it's an application used for bank transaction. Is it only for bank transaction? No. So calculation cut across. It could be at a bank, it could be at a shop, it could be at a shopping mall, whatever business that the person that, and using the Excel is for calculation. But if you restrict them to maybe, oh, it is for only bank transaction, then it's like you're not actually into what you are, the question, or you don't really understand the question you are providing the answer to. So you have to make sure that you provide the necessary answer to the question. Do you understand? Good. And someone was asking, what are some of the tools that assist in technology or to access the internet? Tools that helps to access the internet, or technology tools that helps to access the internet. We have some of them like modem. We also have satellite. We also have router. We have iPad. We have computer. We also have telephone or mobile phone. They all help in what? Accessing the internet. You can use these technological tools to access the internet. I repeat, we have mobile phone, we have router, we have modem, we have computer. So please don't go write computer and write and write laptop. Critical thinking with common sense. Computer and laptop, they are just the same thing. They are in the same family. So when you write computer, it cuts across. Are you okay? So you can go for tablet. It's also correct. When you write tablet, it's also correct. It also helps in what? Accessing the internet. I repeat, you can write computer and forgo laptop, or you write laptop and forgo computer. Your answer will be marked correct. I hope you understand. Good. And some ask about the types of spreadsheets. Types of spreadsheets. I want you to understand very well that ICT question, they don't ask you more questions like asking you state and explain, or they ask you to something like they ask you to write 10 or 5 examples of something. Maximum is 4 or 5, if possible 3. Do you understand? For example, let's look at some types of spreadsheet application. I'm giving you 5, possible 6. You can keep 5. So when you go to the exam, in case you are asked for 4 or you are asked for 3, you should be able to what? Make sure you write them nicely, and make sure that the simple ones are the ones that you are supposed to keep, not the ones that are difficult to remember and all that. If you are smart, that's good, but you have to make sure you pick the simple one. And I always tell my students that some of the examiners are not actually, some of them are ICT inclined, but sometimes they look what they have on the marking scheme is what they use. So things that are popular is what you're supposed to use. So things that are familiar that we've been using and all that. For example, let's say for example UC browser. Yes, UC browser is a system, but assuming the examiner is marking and whether he didn't see UC browser on your on the marking scheme, it means possibly you mark you wrong. Do you understand? So let's look at some types of spreadsheet application. Some types of spreadsheet application. Now we have Lotus 123. We have the Quattro Pro. We have the Excel itself. We also have the Google Worksheets. That's 4. And we also have the LibreOffice. We have the iWork numbers. We also have the Google Sheets I said earlier. So please keep that one. We have the Lotus 123. We have the Excel. We have the Quattro Pro. We have the VisiCalc. We have the iWork number. So please kindly take notes and keep those simple ones for you to pass your BEC. And then simple and for you to understand of how practicals are answered. Please, it is not actually difficult to answer practical questions, but it is difficult. If you don't have a matured mind to approach practical questions, you think the practical question is actually is what you think, but it's not. So please, before you approach a practical question, take your time, think about it, read the instruction. It is very important, especially in spreadsheet. My students fail in presenting their spreadsheet application, especially in practicals. They fail it because most of them didn't read the introduction given. Meanwhile, the question given is hidden in the introduction. So if you don't refuse to read the introduction, it is possible that all the answers that you give will be wrong. So please kindly take note of the introduction given so that you approach the question with ease. And now I want you to understand that the general knowledge, it is not everything that the teacher will teach you in the classroom. The word general knowledge, when you look at the other question, the way you are going to choose 3 questions, the general knowledge is not everything that the teacher will teach you in the classroom. It means that things that you see around you, some of them will be taught by the teacher, but some of them are the things that you see around you. Do you understand? Are the things that you see around you. So the general knowledge is that you yourself, when you see some of the things out there, how do you respond to them? How do you use them? How do you ask? Do you ask questions? If you forgo them, it means that definitely you can't meet them. One of the mock that we wrote with my students, they saw something like chat room. You know, it is very difficult. It could be possible that the teacher will teach you, but it's also possible that you are in groups. So if you meet that question, chat room, and maybe the teacher didn't teach you, how are you going to approach that question? Because that question is a general knowledge question. You are in groups. So when you see something like chat room, how will you explain the word chat room, or what is chat room? So this is where you end up by writing something that doesn't actually match with the marking scheme. So please, kindly pay attention to all that. And it is possible for you to get your 12 marks from the other general knowledge questions. 12, which is 36, in addition with your practical question, because they are just simple answers. Stick to your practicals, take note of your terms, make sure that you read, understand before you provide the answer. Think about your answer before you write. Don't rush. You have enough time to provide your answers. 2 hours paper is just enough. Take your time, present your work nicely, and also make sure you go over your work when you finish writing. Are we okay? Good. So I'll end my first part of exam tips here. If you know you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, and also keep sharing, and also press the notification bell so anytime we upload a new video, you'll be notified. Remember that ICT questions are very trickish but easy to pass. So make sure you stick to the terms, make sure you stick to the discipline of answering ICT questions. Until then, stay blessed and see you next time in our next lesson. Bye bye.